Week 3 package B series. Here we go, 2026. It is April 17th. So we're right at 3 weeks on these girls. This should be quick because they should be, make sure the queen's not on here. Should be ready to go into the next deep box right now. So the pollen patty, they've completely eaten that. There's a lot of, if you notice on the top of these frames in the box here, see how everything is kind of yellow? So they've been out getting into pollen and walking around, and so that's a good sign. That shows a lot of good activity. These are all brand new frames. Okay, it's all the way, this frame is drawn. They've got nectar going into that one, a little spot of pollen down there. But that's awesome. They're working all the way out here, so they're going to pass. There's a hive beetle. They're going to pass the 70% rule here. In the springtime, we use 70% as the expansion rule. And they are lots of pollen, so there's some black pollen that has been coming in into our pollen trap. They're very, very dark brown. It really looks black on this white foundation. And I don't know what that is, what plant that's actually coming from, but we tasted some earlier and it is actually really good. It's a light sweet flavor. It doesn't taste like the color black at all. Whatever, that's usually like black licorice. I don't care for that, but all right, let's see. Yep, and I believe that's the queen over there. More of that black pollen, and she is laying there. This side as well. All this looks excellent. So I want to look. She should be real close to, or the hive should be real close to hatching their first sets of capped brood. So we're right at 3 weeks. Yep, there's mom, there's the queen. She's right there. Looking good, she's laying, working. That is an entire, look at all of that pollen. That is a huge pollen ring. That is excellent, that's what we want to see. And on this side, so there's, looks like a spotty pattern, but she's actually, it's all nectar spots in between and a huge band. Look at all of this pollen. That is incredible. The bees are in an abundance period right now, that's for sure. So, she's on this frame. I'm going to be extra gentle here. Okay. Yeah, same thing. So this looks like a spotty pattern. Up here, looks like a bad, poorly mated queen, but it's all nectar spots in between there. And then you can see down here, when given the space, she's actually laying a consistent brood pattern. So this is just because she is kind of starting in, man, look at all that. That's almost a complete frame of brood. And the pollen band, amazing pollen band, goes all the way to the outside edge. There's very little honey because it's just packed full of pollen. That is awesome. That's what we really want to see. That's really incredible. Okay, I'm going to put this frame to the side because that's all capped brood. I just want to look here. So their first rounds of brood have not quite hatched. Man, look at that. Full sheet. Full sheet. Oh my goodness, that is almost edge to edge. So they are about to hit an incredible population explosion. All right, so what I'm going to do, I need to get this feeder. I'm using internal feeder here because I've got these other larger overwintered colonies that are just next door. And just to keep things minimal for risk for robbing. I've got the internal feeder. Okay, it's a little bit full yet. So I'm just going to set this down over here. We're going to move that into the top box. Man, they have brood all the way out up against that feeder. So what I want to do is take some frames. These are brand new frames, and I've waxed them with fresh beeswax. And I'm going to kind of checkerboard here, because as hard and fast as she is laying, I don't want them to get the notion of swarming. So let's see what's in this gap here. Yeah, so that one I had checkerboarded that frame, so they're drawing that frame. Okay, I'll put a new frame out here. And then yep, and that's the frame that I checkerboarded last time. So they're drawing that one out, nearly got it done. And they're working this one as well. So what I'm going to do is move those over. And then what I want to do is put one on the outside here. All right, so I've kind of changed up what I'm doing with the checkerboard. So I had these frames checkerboarded last time, so this time I put one in the middle, and I pulled this brood frame that is capped brood. And then I've got the two empty frames on the outside, and what I'm going to do is just try to encourage them to keep working upstairs, finish off downstairs, and then move up into this top box rather quickly. So I'm going to take this brood frame and put that in the center here in the top. I'm leaving all the bees on it, because then they'll come straight up into that box. And then I'm just moving my feeder up here where I can get to it and fill it up from the top. Now that feeder, it's about half full, and we have an abundance of food coming in. So I'm actually not going to fill it up this time because I don't want it to spoil. We've got some rain coming, hopefully tonight. We desperately need the rain. And they'll be at home during the rainstorm, so that'll give them something to work on. And they really probably don't need it, but I'm going to go ahead and just give them a little extra pollen. A little smaller piece this week than last, and it's up here with the brood, just so they have something to do tomorrow during the rainstorm. But they have got packed pollen right now, so they probably are okay, but I just like to hedge my bets just to give them every possible opportunity to get really, really strong before we have this nectar dearth in June. So we're still basically second week of April. They've got about 6 weeks to kind of get everything ready, hopefully before things shut off. So what I'm doing there, I'm just knocking the loose bees into the top of this box so that I don't squish them when I put the lid down, the inner cover down. All right, there we go. They're all packed up. They're looking excellent. Queen's laying perfectly. I mean, she is abundantly laying. They've got tons of resources, pollen they're bringing in. They're working hard. The entrance, I'm going to pull off. I had closed this down to just a single spot. I'll pry that open. So I'm going to open their entrance up to the minimum, the normal minimum opening. And then we're ready for next week. So be blessed.